Good morning, TL Travelers, and welcome back to the TL Travel YouTube channel. If you are new here, you might not know that we have just returned from some adventures across Alberta. We were in Jasper National Park. We picked up a rental with Canadream, a camper van, and traveled south to Cypress Hills, and we had fantastic time. Since my return, I have been waiting patiently to take you guys out for some more outdoor adventures, but there's this thing that's happening in Alberta right now, and really across the entire country, and that is that Canada is doing fairly poorly with the wildfire situation.
The air quality in Edmonton is deteriorating. Once you hit 7 or higher on the Air Quality Health Index, it's considered high risk.
Yeah, it's not great, and the air quality is very poor. It's been smoky for days and days, and yeah, so haven't been able to really get outdoors and do much, and as far as like getting out and doing things indoors, we are still kind of limited there as well. So today I am here at home, but I have some news. So I'm going to get dressed really quickly and then get my day started and fill you guys in on what is coming up next on this channel, because we're getting outside. And it's just gonna require a little change of scenery. Cheers. Okay, so got my vaxxed, waxed, and bags packed mug from my girl Allie Abroad. A little merch plug for you. So if you are into travel, which I'm assuming you must be if you're watching this video, check her out. I'll link her stuff in the description as well because she's fantastic. But yeah, so I've got I'm really just feeling the travel vibes because your girl booked a flight. Now, don't get too excited. We're not doing international travel just yet. We're still sticking to domestic. I am, as a lot of you guys know, I own a travel agency, and there's a lot of things going on that just make me feel like, for myself personally, it just wouldn't be the most responsible thing to travel when travel advisories are to not travel. That's no judgment on people who are, you know, responsibly traveling and doing their thing. That's just my like personal take on it. Derek's work still requires some like testing and things like that, of course, when he comes back. So it just doesn't make sense for us to do it right now. Where we are going though is home to Ontario to live up that lake life. And I am so excited. We actually booked these tickets like a couple of months ago, and when they were super cheap. We still at that point weren't really sure if we were gonna even be able to make the trip happen, or if that was gonna be like, if it was gonna be a safe thing to do. Cases were all over the place, we didn't really know. But we figured, you know what? Prices are low enough that we'll just book it just in case, and then assuming that things are fine, we'll go ahead, and if they aren't, we'll get a refund, and if we can't get a refund, then it is what it is. Try again next year. But yeah, everything seems to be going really well. So Derek and I are going out to Ontario. We're going out to the like lakes area, as if Ontario or Southern Ontario isn't like all lakes. But we are going out to my family's like lake house area. And yeah, we're gonna have a big old, not big, but a reunion with immediate family who we haven't seen in, I mean, I was lucky enough that I got to see my parents a year ago. Yeah, it's been a year since I've seen my parents, but my sister, who lives in the East Coast forever, this is all coming together. She is going to also be there, and I have not seen her since she got married, like in Mexico. If you guys remember my Mexico videos, that was right before, you know, everything went down. So that was January 2020. It's the last time that I have seen her. Sorry, I'm like getting emotional about it. So yeah, I now feel confident enough, knock on wood, to announce that this trip is happening. I'm gonna take you guys. We're gonna go to Ontario. We're gonna be doing some like outdoor adventures. Hopefully, we're definitely gonna be hanging out by the lake, beautiful views, all that fun stuff. And who doesn't love a reunion? Today though, yeah, it's just like an around the house sort of vlog situation. So what I thought that I would do is do one last little Q&A format video for you guys. I know there's been a couple over the last little while, but she is what she is. We can't really go anywhere. And yeah, I'll post on my Instagram. This will have happened obviously before this is live, but as if you don't know that. I'm gonna post on my Instagram, and then I'll get back to you guys, and I'm gonna answer a few questions that you guys still have outstanding about just like travel thoughts and things like that. So if that interests you, stick around. And if it doesn't, that's totally cool. I get it. This isn't the most exciting video ever, but I'll link videos from our last couple of trips down below, and also maybe I'll link some Mexico vibes in case you guys are looking for some pre-pandy views. A little slice of normal. So I'll link all those below, as well as Allie and her merch, because check it out, it's fabulous if you are looking for a shot girl summer, if that's your plan. And yeah, I'm gonna post some questions. Let's do that.
Years later.
Okay, we are back, and yeah, I don't know how I feel about that quick transition. If I look a lot more end of day style haggard, sorry about that. So I did get a few questions back. Some of them were questions that I've answered in previous videos, so I'll link my first dose, second dose vax videos in the description along with everything else if your question wasn't answered here. But yeah, so regarding domestic travel is what most of these questions are about. The first question was, is Canada open in general, or do you still need to wear masks? So really quickly, just to get this out of the way, it's different from province to province right now. Where I am in Alberta, there is no mask mandate, but most stores and places still have signs, you know, saying that they're recommended, or they will ask politely that you do if you can. So we have been wearing masks. And when I go home to Ontario, assuming that nothing changes between now and when we land, there is still a mask mandate in place there. So I will have to mask there. The second question is, do you have to mask on domestic flights in Canada? So I don't know if this is different in different places around the world. I don't always know everyone who's asking questions or where they're coming from, but yeah. So as far as I can tell, or at least with Air Canada, which is who I'm flying with, you do still have to you know, follow the same protocols when you're on flights, domestic or international. Flights are mandatory. No, masks are mandatory, and it's still the same types of restrictions. So here it has to be like a medical grade mask. It can't be like just like a thin fabric mask, or the masks that have like the vents, those aren't allowed. You are allowed to have a face shield, but not to replace a mask. So if you have a face shield, that's fine, but you do still have to be wearing a mask underneath. And then also they're no longer blocking out the middle seats. So the last time that I flew home, I did have they had staggered seats. So in a row or in a set of 6 seats, there was only 3 passengers. That's not a thing anymore. So this will be the first time that I'll be on a flight where where we're all sort of just crammed right in there. Can you tell I'm a little anxious about it? It's all right. It's all good. The third question, is there interprovincial quarantine periods? No, there is not. And the last time, that I flew home last August, there wasn't. Some provinces did and some provinces didn't. And I still did the 14-day quarantine between Alberta and Ontario. even though it wasn't required of me. This time, everyone that I'm going to be seeing when we get there, including ourselves, we're all fully vaccinated, like 14 days plus, and we've all been very, very cautious, and we're not going to be like in the city, we're not stopping anywhere, so we are still going to be like diligent, obviously, and cautious of what's going on, but we are not going to do like 14-day quarantine. We're just gonna be, cautious. What was it? The next question, are you in favor of opening the border between US and Canada for tourism? Because that is something that has been coming up a lot lately. And you know what? There's a lot more to that question, I think. Personally, how I feel about it is that I am in favor of any responsible traveling, but we can't really guarantee that everyone is being responsible, and people do want to follow restrictions and then they don't want to follow restrictions, and all it takes is a few people not to really mess things up. And I guess my answer would probably be that I would really like for things to be a bit more stable, both here and in the US, before the borders opened for tourism, just because, we have had a habit in the past of being like, oh, the moment something works for us, we stop doing it because it's worked, and then we just fall back into the same problems over and over again. So, yeah, but at the same time, I'm still being very diligent for myself and cautious for, my family and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is how I feel about it that way. But obviously thinking on a grand perspective, yeah, it worries me a little bit for everyone else, but that's fine. Does that sound awful and heartless? I'm just trying to speed this along. And then, we have 2 more questions. So the next question, pull my heartstrings, why don't you, is when will tltravel be opening up for group bookings again, which is my travel company. If you're not aware, I often lead group trips in Central America and Southeast Asia. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And because as things are getting back to normal here slowly, and that's great, and people are getting vaccinated, and that's great, and new normal, fabulous, but other countries are further behind. And right now, a lot of the countries that we travel to are those countries. And yes, there's going to be a period where travel kicks up again and people are starting to venture out. Obviously, that's already happening now. And that's great, but that's, 1 or 2 people from the same household traveling safely, doing these things. When it comes to leading a group, the whole concept of just having, 15 to 20 people from different households coming to Thailand through various countries, which would be contact traced differently and have different requirements, and then landing, and then, in those countries, certain things are still closed, and there are still certain requirements as far as, vaccines and proof of this and that, and then, whether or not you're allowed to leave the province. And if even one person tested positive, how would we go about dealing with that situation? And, it's a lot. And I am so excited that there are so many people who follow and who have traveled with me in the past who are excited to get back on the road. I am too, don't get me wrong, but it would just break my heart to rush back and book a trip the moment that I felt like maybe it could be a thing, and not have it be as amazing as it has been in the past. If this is going to be your first trip back, or you're so excited to get out there and be with people, and yeah, I don't want to ruin that either, by rushing it. So the plan is we will be back, but we'll be back when it can be the best trip ever. and when I can guarantee that it is the best trip ever, and when it's safe for the countries where we're going. You know, I don't want to be endangering people in the countries we travel to, because part of the reason we go there is to, you know, contribute, not destroy. Okay, so that was actually the last question, because the other question isn't a question. So those are my answers to your questions for the day, as well as my announcement for our next little trip to the lakes. So freaking excited to take you guys along with me. So next video we will be on the road, I believe. So yay. And yeah, so if you've not already hit that like and subscribe button, definitely do that. I post new travel content every single Sunday, and I have tons of stuff here on the channel, domestic, international, all the things, tips, whatever you need. So if you're craving a binge, check it out. And until I see you guys in my next video for our trip to Ontario and our big old reunion, stay great, travel safe, and I'll see you then.